So on that note, we're going to be going ahead to our next session, which we're going to be scheduling it right now. Now, this session is going to be led by Kumar Mondal, who's the Chief Product Officer of Talendy. Being the Chief Product Officer at Talendy, which is a company which focuses on using AI and data-driven technologies to enhance the recruitment process, as the CPO, Mr. Mondal plays a central role in the development and execution of the product strategy for Talendy's AI-powered recruitment solutions, aimed at improving efficiency and accuracy in talent acquisition. Also, Mr. Mondal is responsible for overseeing the development and execution of the product strategy at Talendy, so we're really excited and looking forward to his curation on the next session. Joining Mr. Kumar Mondal is going to be Ken Wakasa, CEO of Sakurabunsha LLC, advisor for Talendy, former group CTO of Mercari, former software engineer at Google. A seasoned technology executive within 27 years of experience driving innovation and enhancing product development at companies like Mercari, Apple, Google, and Sony, to name a few. Ken also has the expertise in engineering leadership, large-scale software systems, and organizational development, including establishing and growing Mercari's global engineering center in India. It's truly going to be fascinating to see what Ken has to say in this conversation. And also we have Kotaro the professor from IIT Hyderabad. Kotaro received his BA in Environmental Information back in 2002. Also, he's been somebody who's worked in the joint research collaboration at the university, wherein he's participated with various institutes. He's also been an expert in the field, and he's been a visiting faculty currently at IIT Hyderabad, and of course being a professor there as well. He's currently heading the department. He's in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering, IIT Hyderabad, and it's going to be exciting to see what he brings in with his expertise to this conversation. So ladies and gentlemen, let's, with a warm round of applause, invite Kumar Mondal, who's going to be moderating this, along with Ken Wakasa and Kotaro. Ladies and gentlemen, a warmer round of applause for all three gentlemen. So talent in an AI era. Dave, you've got this noble task of curating this conversation with Ken and Kotaro. Dave, we look forward to what you have to say in this conversation along with your speakers. Over to you.
Good Sunday afternoon. I know it's Sunday afternoon, so we will keep it light as a casual discussion with a little bit of humor, because this is a fireside chat, right? It's supposed to be humor. So I'm Dave, and talking about humor, I have been living in Japan for the past 10 years, and I think I'm the only Indian who has experienced more Japanese food than Japanese people. So why I say that is, when I talk to people in Osaka, that's where I live, that I love mentaiko from Kyushu. Oh, mentaiko daisuki. And then all the Japanese people from Osaka, they'll look at me like this, like, "Hommani? Really?" So they don't trust me. That as an Indian, I love mentaiko, but that's what it is. Now, when I started living in Japan for the past, back 10 years, when I and Nishiyama, we started building this Talendy platform like 5 years back. IIT was not a thing. People didn't know about IITs. Then, fast forward like 10 years, just last week, I was walking down the street, buying some vegetables from the grocery store. And then an old lady, we call them Obachan in Japan, 70-year-old. And she came to me, she's like, "Doko kara kita no? Where did you come from?" I said, "India." And I didn't say anything after that. She was just like, "Oh, India? Indo Koga Daigaku? IIT?" She knew about IIT. I could have cried on that street. I could have cried. I did. internally. It's such a proud moment to bring the Japanese delegation this time and to talk in front of my seniors, in front of my professors. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. Now, I started kind of thinking yesterday, apologies for my Jumbi Busoku, that means, I didn't prepare that much, but I started thinking yesterday, what is IIT? Why are we so proud of being an IITian? And I think I couldn't find a better answer than this. IIT is a community of excellent people. That's why we are so proud of it. Now, IIT is producing excellent people. As the topic is AI, let me come to that. How these people, they're going to shine in future. With the advent of AI, all the good things that you heard from our Anirban, everyone, there is an alarming side as well. So if you have seen the news, then Salesforce CEO, Mark, this year, said that we are not going to hire any new engineer in 2025 because AI has boosted the productivity of the existing employees so much that they just don't need anymore. So all the IITians, who are coming out every year, what are they going to do if this becomes a commonplace in the industry? And I think we have just the right people, the best people to have an answer, have an opinion from them. So, Kataoka sensei, he is producing the talents from IIT Hyderabad. He is teaching AI and blockchain in IIT Hyderabad, the only Japanese professor in IIT Hyderabad. And one of most forerunning person. And then we have Wakasa-san. Ken.
Only Ken, yeah.
Yes, Ken-san. See, he has been to all the places. Take Google, take IBM, take Apple. Recently.
Not IBM.
Oh, not IBM, sorry. So he was recently the CTO of Mercury. It's the largest C2C marketplace in Japan. It's like eBay in Japan. So he has been hiring these talents. So what's your opinion? Who will go first? Kataoka sensei?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Okay, so the story about Salesforce, it may sound sensational, but that company is not the only company who is hiring an Indian top talent. So practically, we don't have to care much about it. And then another thing is that this is not a new story. So for example, several years ago, when we had a news story about the software-defined networking. That was about the replacement of the network engineers with the software developers. So the big company in US, in an international conference, told a story that, hey, we are not hiring the network engineers anymore because the network will be operated by software and then designed by the software engineers. But still, again, right now, the network engineer is the most best paid job still in the world. So the emergence of AI, replacement of the people, it may happen, but it cannot dominate. So the most important thing is how you want to use an AI instead of how the replacement may happen because of the AI. So that is my view about your question.
Thank you. Ken-san?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having me, first of all. And actually, as Kataoka sensei mentioned, story of a recent announcement about Salesforce, kind of sensational headline. Yeah. I think actually it is not new, to be honest. I have been being involved with tech talent hiring over decades, over I think 2 decades. This has not been changed actually. Every day or every time, every time we have new technologies, people are talking about job security of the existing people, etc., etc. However, there will be anyway something that needs to be done on top of everyone can do, everyone does, right? So speaking of that, I think that's how it goes again. So we shouldn't too much care about what Salesforce, Mark Benioff is saying at this point. And at this point, I think this is Japan session, right? So let me provide some perspective from Japan, tech leaders as well. So I think having said that, talented people will always be needed anyway. When we look at Japan situation, the aging societies like Japan keep talking about talent shortages, right? So I have been helping several companies and startups now as an advisors and technical advisors as well. And they keep saying, those Japanese company leaders and technology hiring managers keep saying that we need more engineers, regardless the situations of AI, right? And I think going forward, thanks to the advancement of AI, there are many reasons for those Japanese companies to make use of those tech talent, make use of those maybe like agentic AI or whatever, AI agents, whatever, to compensate or to fulfill their shortage of the talents anyways. However, when we look at the world, that's not really the case, to be honest, right? In India, for instance, students are looking for jobs, right? And maybe talent shortage is not something Indian people is worrying about, right? So there are more reasons for Indian, stakeholders or Indian, industry leaders to worry about what Mark Benioff said. But on the other hand, from the Japan side, I think what Mark said is kind of really making sense for us because Japan needs more talent, but they keep talking about talent shortage. So there are many reasons for Japanese companies and startups to make use of AI. So that's actually the kind of different perspective of Japanese companies are having. And with that, I think can we talk a bit more, can I talk a bit more about it? So with that, we are sort of thinking, Japanese startups and companies are starting talking about some challenges we will have when we make use of, when we replace some of those, junior maybe, probably junior engineers with AI agents or agentic AIs. So we are sort of worried about losing the career path for junior engineers to grow, right? So because those jobs will be fulfilled by AI. So that's actually one of the challenges we started thinking about. And I'd like to have some discussions about that from the Indian perspectives as well, right? You guys have lots of talents, which is good, and I have been hiring many talents from India. Thank you. But the world is changing, and what people are expecting is also changing. So, what should we do? Like, what should companies do, or what should universities do, is also going to change. So that's something I have in mind at this point to answer your question.
Thank you. So my juniors, if you are here, relax. Don't get alarmed. So, and then going to the next one, if you have been paying attention. So I was listening to them the whole night yesterday. They can talk about on this topic for the whole night. So please ping them afterwards. Now, Kataoka Sensei, you mentioned one point that you should know how to use the tool. AI is a tool. And then, Ken-san, you said that what should universities do? So can you please elaborate more on that point? Why did you say that AI is a tool?
Sure. So, first of all, I am a very strong believer of Indian education systems. And I really are impressed by the toughness and stamina of the keep thinking until they reach the answer. So that is something that I have never seen before joining IIT Hyderabad. But now, what I really want to introduce to my student is about the finding and defining the problem. So students are used to wait until the problem statements are coming from the course instructors and the guide. Now, I realize that they are doing much better than me. So, why do we force them to wait until we say something as a teacher, but the students can come forward that, hey, I think this is a problem. Should we go ahead? And then I blindly say yes. So that means the skill set of the problem finding and the definition is now really important. And then that skill set can be achieved because the students are tough thinkers. And then that toughness cannot be achieved by the existing Indian education systems. So that is why our system is for sure absolutely connected to the better future. So now please think that the 14 billion, 1.4 billion people who think and they suddenly talk about the problem, not about the solution. So the Indian already has the huge stock of the solutions. Surprisingly, they can tell the solution even before we tell the problem. So, but now, if they come up with the idea that, okay, let's define the problem. So in that case, most of the social difficulty that, like Mr. Saito was talking about global warming, for example, the solution will come much in a better shape. Because the Indian power can be now produce the better problem statement that is far better than many other people may come forward. So that is why, as an education, especially like in my lab, I don't tell what to do. I'm just asking them, try define what they want to do. And then I blindly say yes, and then support. And then their research is theirs, not from something that came from me. It comes from themselves, and then it's their own problem. And then the solution is always super duper brilliant. So as an education institute, the role for the future is to put the mindset of the aggressive thinking for the problem definition. So that's my answer to you.
Thank you. I really like that idea. Problem solvers and problem finders.
Right.
So what should the universities do?
Well, actually, yeah, what Professor Kataoka said resonates me very well. I think, in industry, in companies, we have always been thinking about, problem statement as well as a problem solving. But latter is going to be anyway replaced by AI, and actually that has been always true, to be honest. Problem solving has been getting just easier and easier, right? And AI is just one of the latest waves to make problem solving easier, right? However, problem findings and problem definitions, defining problems or identifying problems has always been done by experienced leaders or senior engineers or senior product managers, etc., etc. That part will be even more important than ever before, right? And I think what companies or industries should do is to, advocating the importance of problem findings in collaboration with, educational institutes. And I think it has always been clear, just to be honest, right? But it has always been clear, but it will be even clearer, right? Everybody understands that AI is coming, and AI is always on the headlines of all news, right, today. So every day we hear about new announcements from OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, etc. So it's a great opportunity for me personally to advocate people about the importance of problem findings, together with education, universities and educational institutes.
Thank you, Ken-san. So as I understand, the IITians who are coming out every year, they should be the problem finders. And then the problem solving part can be done with AI. That's what we are looking forward to. And I have a problem. The problem is, I love mentaiko, but mentaiko is not available in Osaka. The best comes from Kyushu. I have no idea how to get them in Osaka. That's the problem I found out. No solutions here. So thank you. It was a really eye-opening session, I believe. And I believe I put a bit of humor so that you don't get frustrated, bored in a fine Sunday afternoon. So please allow me to thank Kataoka sensei and Ken-san for such an eye-opening session. And I think that's what we IITians, the students, the professors, that we need to think about going on. Thank you again.
With that, if we may request Mr. Sharat Saraf to please join us, the convener of PIWOT 2025, to give us his valuable presence on stage along with our panelists. A warmer round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for such an incredible panel led by Mr. Mondal. And of course, Mr. Mondal and all our speakers, we just request you to please be in the center. We have a token of appreciation given by Mr. Sharat Saraf to all of you. So let's get them in one frame together. And let's continue with that applause for each and every one of them. Well, the smiles say it all right here at the day 3 of PIWOT 2025. Please do stay on the stage as we have for Mr. Mondal as well.